Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video today. And today the Houston Astros are calling up Brice Matthews, the number one overall prospect. Cam Smith is not that number one because he's spent too much time in the major leagues. But, yeah, I think a lot of people look at Cam Smith and say he's really the number one, even though he's not, listed on the top prospects. But that doesn't mean Brice Matthews is not a good player, because Brice Matthews has a great potential, and I'm really excited to see him get up to the major leagues. And I'm so glad the Astros finally made the decision to make this move with how good he's been in Sugarland this year. This was a guy that was a first-round pick for the Astros a couple years ago in 2023. And so I'm finally glad they're making the right decision, bringing him up. 73 games this year, 269 at-bats, 76 hits, 12 doubles, 5 triples, 10 home runs, 39 RBIs. Has been a machine with stolen bases this year, 25 stolen bases, 50 walks, batting .283. I'm so excited to see what he can do. I think there's a little bit of a question of what position he could be playing. I think a lot of people expect him to be at short with no Jeremy Pena, but I keep talking about how since guys like Brendan Rodgers and Luis Guillorme have been hurt, and Pena has been hurt, all these infielders are down, and Dubon is needed more in the infield now too, that you've seen a lot less of Mauricio Dubon and Jose Altuve in the outfield. And just going to throw this out there. You could put Matthews at second and get Altuve in left. The Astros, it's hard for them to get Altuve in left these days. If you don't want to put a weak... I really like these players. I think they're good dudes. Taylor Trammell and Cooper Hummel. I think they're really solid. At times they can give you good at-bats. But most times, more than most times, they're going to give you really bad at-bats. And this call-up at times could potentially lead to less playing time for one of those guys, Trammell or Cooper. Because Altuve, you've seen a lot of Trammell in left. You've seen a lot of Cooper Hummel at left as well. If Matthews goes to second sometimes and Dubon's at short and Altuve moves to left field where he's not played as much since all these injuries have happened, that could lead to less playing time for Cooper Hummel and Taylor Trammell. But that's just one idea I have. But I would imagine maybe the Astros would try more with Matthews at short. But honestly, just in my opinion, I look to him more at second base. This is a guy that you want to be a part of the future. Just being honest, he has no future at at shortstop. Jeremy Pena is the guy at shortstop. So maybe you look at playing him a little bit at short potentially, while Pena's out. But Dubon's played solid at short, during Pena's absence. Keep Dubon at short. Have Matthews play a little second. Get Altuve in the outfield, or some DH days for Altuve potentially would be nice. Get Matthews at second. That is the position that you look at Brice Matthews and say, that's the position we want this guy playing. It's not shortstop. Maybe in a potential world, because Jeremy Pena hired Scott Boras and the Astros don't re-sign him, maybe he moves to shortstop one day. But that day is not today, and that day is not anywhere near from now. And, right now, if Matthews, you'd think next couple years is going to be a part of the team. There's another 3 or 4 seasons where Pena's at least under contract, and you'd hope the Astros would retain him and keep that cycle with Pena going. And if that happens, Matthews has no potential at shortstop. So I would be hoping for him to get good playing time at second base. And so, but like I said, guys being injured like Brendan Rodgers, Pena, and, Guillorme and some of the other guys are hurt, have kept Altuve away from left field. As he was in left field a lot more when the season began. I think another guy who's kept Altuve away from the outfield is Jordan Alvarez. One of the reasons why the Astros played Altuve in left field was because they wanted Jordan to be, away from left field, and Altuve was an option for them. And so I think his injury as well has played a role into him playing less in left. But then you look at all the other injuries that have happened after Jordan's, of Pena, Rodgers, and Guillorme, and all these other injuries, and it's like, Altuve makes more sense if he's at second right now. But adding in Matthews could could give Altuve more opportunities at the DH and left field. Let me know your thoughts on the call up for the Astros. This is a video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out.